as you saw from many of the topics, many of the speakers, AI has impacted our industry and is going to continue for the foreseeable future. And when we look at AI, it's exploded since ChatGPT came onto the scene. There are so many different platforms out there that impact images, that impact writing, impact our planning, audio, coding. Many of the speakers shared some of their favorite tools that are helping drive more efficiencies in their business. I would encourage all of those out there that are interested in looking at AI for their own business to use a website called There's an AI for That. I love it. And you can type in a topic or an area in your organization that you want to research and look for some AI to assist in, and it'll give you some great examples. It's a great starting point to learn more about what's out there. But what's really interesting is when we look back to just earlier this year, May 2023, I gave a talk on AI, and there were 3,700 tools, different AI tools. As of September, as of just a few days ago, there are almost 8,000. It is truly amazing.
I'm crawling under my desk now, Brad.
Say that again.
I'm going to crawl under my desk now.
Yes, I know. And we probably passed the 8,000 mark since I pulled this statistic just a few days ago. But it's amazing at how much opportunity there is and how much learning there is still for all of us to do. So I have a question here that I'd love to ask both of you. You two have obviously been in the staffing business. David, you grew up in it. Are we facing an existential threat from AI right now?
You go first.
Well, no, not right now. In the future, potentially, when the AI starts talking to the AI and creating more robots and more AIs, yeah, that maybe could happen. I know that there are some fail-safes in place to prevent that from happening, but then again, they were made by a human. So not today, though, not anytime soon.
Not quite yet. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I don't think it's an existential threat. And I know you've got some things that, we're supposed to be the end of the staffing industry coming up. Monster was supposed to put us out of business, and then Indeed was going to do it. And then it was LinkedIn that was going to do it. And, now it's AI that's the threat. But AI is, you've heard from everybody today, it's a tool. It's about the interaction. Now, if anyone's a science fiction fan, go get the book by Daniel Suarez called Influx. And he writes about science technologies coming onto the scene. He wrote this book almost 10 years ago about AI and its future, Daniel Suarez Influx. And that one will scare the crap out of you about what AI could become, because what he wrote was science fiction in 2014 is maybe one or two generations of being potential reality. But we're not there yet. No. AI is actually, the threat to us is not AI. As I think two people said today, it's not using AI.
Yeah, and David, I was going to share a similar story. Earlier this year, maybe late last year, I was at a big industry conference and I was at a roundtable moderating, and there was an argument going back and forth between two recruiters. And one said, I will never use AI. That is not this business. That is going to impede my ability to create human relationships. And the other person was like, I want to replace all of my recruiters with AI. It was interesting to see those two go back and forth. So the one said, AI will never replace recruiters. And I kind of fall there. I don't know that AI will replace recruiters that use AI. I think AI will replace recruiters that don't use AI. So I think there's a huge opportunity for us there. And when we look
Brad,
at
before you go on, I just want to jump in. Like our first session this morning, Vicki and I put together an outline using our 27 years of experience in hailing marketing and experience before that in the staffing industry. And we outlined how to get through a recession, how to future-proof. And then Vicki went to ChatGPT. And yeah, we had identified most of the things, but it still found things that we didn't think of. And then prompting it, as Vicki showed this morning, in different ways, came up with stuff that we wouldn't have even dreamed of. So AI wasn't going to run our session this morning, but the combination of AI and what we knew was pretty powerful.
Yeah, there's some magic in that prompting. And if you can ask the right questions or use AI to ask you questions, even better, it can open up some wide avenues of thinking, things you maybe never would have thought of before.
Yeah, and I'd like to look at a little mind shift here. It's not replacing human interaction. It's giving you the opportunity to get to human interaction faster and more meaningful.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
there's
I
a
think
huge
you're right there.
opportunity there. So let's look at the reality check of what's happening. So we showed that slide of Monster, Indeed, and LinkedIn. They didn't put staffing out of business. I don't think AI is going to, as long as we use it appropriately. But the reality is we've still got record low unemployment, maybe not record, but close to record, 5 million more jobs than candidates, and that's just in the US alone. The great retirement continues. Baby boomers are exiting the workforce at record rates. We've got the gig economy, freelancers, more people are going into entrepreneurship. All of this is reducing the labor pool for organizations out there. And it's not going away. If you look at the data, the trends, the population data, talent shortages are systematic. They are not going away. And that's a very good thing for staffing and recruiting. So let's transition now and talk a little bit about how AI will transform your business. David, from your seat, from your visionary role, what do you see AI bringing to the staffing industry?
Well, yeah, it's going to bring all kinds of new capabilities. So predictive abilities. You're going to know when the best times are to be hiring. You're going to know the probability and cost of finding top talent. You're going to identify people and processes that result in the best hires. I mean, it's just going to help you analyze data at scales. That's one of the things, like we think about ChatGPT as it writes an email for me or comes up with a list of things. But really, one of its greatest superpowers is crunching numbers and analyzing information. One of the things I was reading about is people are going to start using AI to forecast the probability of someone's career, where they're likely to go. I wasn't quite sure how it would get all the data to make that prediction, but interesting as more and more of our performance reviews and our successes and failures are all documented and put into HRIS systems. AI can start to read all that data and compare across massive sets of data to figure out who's going to be successful and who's not. We're going to use it to hire faster. We're going to use it to weed out poor candidates faster. We're going to use it to make decisions that are more data driven instead of just gut intuition driven. Now, I know there's all kinds of issues about ethicals, concerns, and bias. That is going to get worked out over time. We do have to be really vigilant right now that we're using the tools in the right way. But as the tools get refined, that won't become a long-term concern. It'll actually probably improve our ability to find more diverse talent and to make our organizations more attractive to more diverse talent. And ultimately, it's going to make all of our jobs easier, or at least more productive.
But David, what about on the sales side? How do you see AI being used directly for sales?
So there's a little chart here. It kind of goes around the horn here, but let's go through some specific bullets. You're going to find prospects. You're going to improve the way you go after reaching out to people, better emails, using video, using texting in more engaging ways, better personalization. At least one or two people mentioned today the repetitive administrative stuff, like I mentioned it this morning, using read.ai so that you don't have to type your call notes in. I mean, it may seem like a little thing, but how many hours a week do salespeople spend putting notes into a system that now the AI can be a direct integration? Here's the synopsis of what's done. Here's the next scheduled task that was your to do. You don't have to do any of that. It's going to allow us to improve training. We heard this earlier. Marianne talked about role playing with ChatGPT. How cool is that? Also, you could use it to ask for best practices for learning. Your sales forecasting, looking at your pipeline and saying, based on my performance, what am I going to close based on what's in my pipeline? Because AI could look at your own personal performance and tell you how you're going to do and where you like, hey, you don't have enough people at this stage. You better pick up the phone. Lead scoring. We can use automation tools. This is marketing automation as much as it is sales, but I can be using these tools to figure out who's ready to talk to me. Have they been on our website? What content are they engaging with? They've been reading my emails. And all of that tells the salesperson, hey, this is a hot prospect. Chatbots, we've had a couple discussions about it. And can we be using them to generate sales leads 24/7 for all of our businesses? The answer is a definitive yes.
David, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about some of the AI tools you're seeing for sales.
Yeah, you can go right down the list here because I'm not going to try to read all of these. Look at all the different areas of sales function. And each of these are different tools. And again, you're getting the slides. You don't need to write all these down. But like we've been using Seamless.ai to do some of our list building. We're actually going to dump it and probably go to Apollo because it's been too inaccurate for us. It's not necessarily a knock on Seamless, just for what we were looking for. But we're going to try Apollo next. We talked about note taking. We're using Read AI. Notion was mentioned today. Fireflies was mentioned today. Otter was the only one that wasn't mentioned. I know a lot of people using Otter for note taking. Automation tools. Bullhorn, Sense, HubSpot. The majority of our clients are using some form of either marketing automation to help sales or ATS process automation. Writing tools. So just Chat GPT, and we're starting to use Copy.ai. So again, you're going to see all of these tools that are there to help salespeople do things more efficiently, not just in the right, but in how they research, how they figure out who to target, how they figure out what to say, how they figure out when to follow up, so that they can create more engagement and do what they do best, spend more time building relationships.
And there's a ton of value on the recruiting side too.
Yeah, if you look at all the phases of the recruiting process, AI can help in all of them. It can improve your employer branding, analyzing you and your competitors, design purposes. When in the sourcing process, I can crunch huge data sets to find candidates who are likely ready to make a move rather than just do a LinkedIn search and start calling thousands of people. I think Tom mentioned Converse AI, and I love how this end presentation is tied together almost everything that happened today. But Converse AI, which you can, I met someone at the exec forum last spring who said they're using Converse AI to do outreach for nurses, and they can reach out to like 1,500 prospects, nurses at one time, to market a new assignment to see who would be interested in the assignment rather than having to make 1,500 phone calls. And it's voice-based outreach by the AI. This isn't a text. This is the AI calling the nurses, and the average conversation was lasting 9 minutes. So it's not just some disembodied voice. The nurse is actually engaging with the AI. But you're going to see it in every stage of the process. There's actually a slide coming up next, which I really liked, which if you look at everything a recruiter does and you write down all of the processes. Now, this wasn't our slide. I can't take credit for it. I just really like what this shows is they looked at everything somebody who's a recruiter might do, and they labeled it. What's something that a human has to do? What's something that's ripe for AI? What's something that's sort of in the middle? And they started figuring out where they can adopt AI. So step one in recruiting or selling is really to process map. What are we doing every single day? Document all those activities, and where can we drop AI in to make our lives better and easier?
And I love this diagram because the companies that look at everything below that recruiter line and incorporate those into their processes and their tech stack are going to have a competitive advantage.
So again, just a list of tools here. But if you look at all of the job functions that go with recruiting, and you go to, there's an AI for that Brad, you just showed, there are tools out there to help with each stage in the process and make it so it's faster, easier to communicate and research, et cetera.
Awesome. So let's have a little bit of fun. I'm going to pop out of the presentation here. I'm going to show you just a real quick example of using AI in your day-to-day. And this is somewhat simplistic, but you'll get the point here. So let me reshare my screen. I did a presentation a month and a half ago where we talked about leveraging AI in your recruiter's daily workflow. And we just grabbed a opportunity from Indeed. We asked the AI to write a better job description. Then from there, what we did is we asked the AI to write a email that we could send out to people that might be interested. Here's our email. Then we asked we asked it to also create a LinkedIn message that could be sent to people that fit the criteria. Then we asked it to create 5 social media posts with hashtags and emojis that we could post on our company outlets or on our individual recruiters outlets to promote and link back to this opportunity. Then we asked it to write a letter that can be used to send to the hiring manager for candidate submittal, along with resumes of the candidates that applied. Okay, here's our letter. Now we asked it to write a letter to unqualified candidates, letting them know that they didn't get the job so they don't go and badmouth our organization. Very nice letter here. Okay, we did all of this in a matter of about 3 minutes. Okay, I don't think, again, getting back to it, that we are going to replace the recruiter. I think we're going to make the recruiter much more effective and efficient and allow them to get to that human relationship quicker, faster, and build more meaningful relationships. So let me go back to our slide deck here and we'll reshare. Give me one moment. So again, that was a very simplistic example, but you can see how effective that can be at reducing some of the menial tasks in our day. So how is AI going to be used for marketing? We're a marketing company. It is going to impact a lot. We can look at strategy and brand development. We can look at data analysis and what people are saying about our brand, where there's opportunities for us, where there's gaps. We can look at market and audience research. We can accelerate writing and design. Now, I want to be careful there. I want to say accelerate writing and design. It's not replace. Okay, we can use it as an amazing starting point for us, but it's not a finished product. And it shouldn't be a finished product. We need to put our mark on that. And that's very important. And I think it's going to be very important as Google and other search engines begin to adjust their algorithms. We can automate content curation. We can do content personalization at scale. David mentioned a tool earlier. There's a video tool that's amazing where you can record one message and then it will personalize it for you. And it looks absolutely real. There's some amazing tools. Actually,
the one we used this morning, Synthesia, that we had talking to Vicky, you could actually use a variable and have it make a video for every single person that you're reaching out to.
Yep. And David, the one that I'm looking at, you can record a video of yourself and it will update the name and personalize it for you. It's amazing. We can improve SEO and PPC research. We're already doing that internally. We're doing that to get better results for our clients, for staffing companies. We can automate lead nurturing, data analysis. We already mentioned. The opportunities are endless. So what I'd love to do is just transition this over to Vicky to talk more about how AI is being used specifically at Haley Marketing to benefit the staffing industry.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a ton. So I think a lot of these were mentioned already by, some of our earlier speakers and maybe earlier in this presentation as well. I'll go through a few of these. We've been testing a lot of AI tools in all of our departments of the entire company because we have an AI task force looking at this and we've got different people working on it. So for idea generation, we all talked about ChatGPT. I personally really like Claude. Claude gives me a little bit more conservative responses, and I find it to be just, it doesn't hallucinate quite as much. We're using Grammarly across the board. Our writers are starting to use Copy AI. In our creative team, we're using Adobe Firefly. They've played a bunch with Midjourney, but I don't think we've actually used any of it in any real projects, but it's a cool tool. We talked about video creation with Synthesia, but our video developers are automating and changing and working on different ways to use Descript, which I think is an amazing tool. So if you hear a lot of ums and filler words that we use when we're talking, you can go into Descript and remove all of those. Or you can do a bunch of changes to the text, like the text isn't quite wrong. You said something you didn't want to. You can change that right there and the video recreates itself. Pretty amazing. We have been using Read AI on some of our teams, and Zoom IQ just came out for free in Zoom. So that's across the board for everyone. The really cool thing about that is I think we talked a little bit about meeting notes, but it also gives you sentiment. So was my meeting positive or negative? Where did it go up and down? Where did the sentiment change? And it also provides coaching. So if you use filler words like I say like, and I just did, and I say like all the time, and Reed keeps telling me to stop using like. The coaching's there. I haven't quite gathered that yet, but I'm working on it.
In our AI that can't reach out and just smack your wrist yet.
Yeah, I need a little smack. I had a little electric shock from the AI. But
that it probably could do.
Hasn't started yet. Maybe next. In our success team, all of you that talk to our success team, they respond to a lot of tickets. We're using Caffeinated CX right now to help the team respond to support tickets. It's trained on 10 years of support tickets and our knowledge base, so it can quickly give some responses. Our success team changes and edits those, and then we're sending them those out. Makes them 30% more productive. And then we're accelerating our product development. Our DevOps team is using Cody AI and Copilot. Cody's kind of cool. You can train it on your business, your team, your process, and your clients with your own knowledge base. Really cool stuff. And then we have a couple of new products that I want to talk about. So we have Talent Scribe. This came out of our Recruiters Websites team. It's an AI writing assistant. It streamlines the content creation process and helps you create recruitment-specific blog posts and job descriptions faster and easier. It'll help you with brainstorming, researching trends, drafting articles, and it can be trained on your company and the way you write. So it also adds all the SEO for you on your blog posts and job descriptions. Really, really cool. I will drop in the link so that you can take a look at that.
Even an integration to pull in images from a source too.
Relatively new feature. Thanks for reminding me.
Sure.
And then we also have a new chatbot. I think David mentioned this earlier. It came up a couple times. It's allows you to automate your conversations while you're not there. So when you're there, you can actually use it as a live chat. So it encourages visitors, captures warm leads, and provides answers even after hours. And coming really soon is a job bot portion of that. It'll talk to you could allow people to talk to your career portal and find the best match and allow them to apply via chat. So I can drop that one in as well. You can take a look at that. And then lastly, I want to tease this one a little bit. This one's not available right away, but it's coming soon. I'm actually using the alpha on a daily basis, but we're not even on beta yet. This is our Amplify platform. Pretty cool. I know Eric Gregg mentioned the word amplify your story. He must have said amplify 50 times. Barry Eisen talked about a platform using platform models. We have a marketing platform for you. Amplify your marketing with our AI enriched platform to define your strategy, boost your sales, marketing, and recruitment efforts. Visualize your results, uncover hidden opportunities to drive ROI, and outperform your competition. Sounds like marketing ease, but the platform really is there to manage your marketing from strategy to planning to content creation, curation, through delivery, and then your analytics and reporting. Everything in one place. And the platform will be available where you work. So it could be on a mobile app, it can be on your desktop, it can be in your browser as an overlay, it can be even within your ATS. All that's coming soon. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I'm using it every day, and I can't wait to get it out to everybody. All right, that's a wrap, and we are on time almost.
Oh, hey, when you miss 8 hours of content by 2 minutes, that's not bad. We did have one last question jump in. Somebody did ask us about the best ways to use ChatGPT to develop content for marketing. Why don't we answer that so we don't leave Sarah hanging here, and then we will just wrap up for the day.
So I can jump in there. I love starting with idea generation. So I love asking Chat to act as someone, act as the director of procurement, and give me the top 5 issues that you're facing. To come up with some ideas. From there, I like to build out a list. I will take some of those ideas, I will type them into Google, I will look at Google's related search or people also ask, and that will generate a whole list of questions that people are asking Google, that are asking other search engines, and then from there, I will build a content model around that. We could create a long form pillar piece of content and then break that up into individual smaller pieces of bite-sized information, or we can start with the bite-sized pieces of information. Also, if you have existing content, you can use and leverage that existing content and ask it to create social media content out of that great thought leadership that you've invested in. So I think there's a ton of applications, but I do want to stress that you shouldn't just take the output directly. We need some human input on that. You need to make sure that it's valid. You need to make sure it's good information, and you need to adjust and alter it so that it's not just regurgitated.
One of the things I really like to do with ChatGPT is take some of my existing content and put it in there, and then you ask it to tell me what the style of that content is, and then write in that style. So I'm getting content out of ChatGPT that has my personality and my voice to it. And that's a good way to kind of help it along to get it closer when you're going to edit it. Little tip. I like to also ask it, what questions might I be asking about a specific topic? So if you get stuck, you can interview yourself. Works pretty well to develop content in your marketing strategy.